Hey guys, Greg here from LensProToGo.com, and today I'm going to show you how to set up and balance your Glidecam handheld stabilizer. I have two models here with me, which is the HD-2000 and the HD-4000. Glidecam does offer some other models, but these are the two we decided to rent. Before we get into balancing it, I just want to run through the parts really quick so you understand each aspect as I talk about them. Starting from the top, we have a Manfrotto quick release plate, which we've decided to include because it makes mounting and balancing the camera much easier, and you can also take it off to put it onto a tripod and use the same quick release system. Then you have the carriage or sled, which is underneath the quick release plate. You have the pole and the 3-axis gimbal, and then you also have the base and the weights. Both of these models are the same besides the size and weight rating. The HD-2000 can hold between 2 to 6 pounds, and the HD-4000 can hold between 4 to 10 pounds. So it really depends on what size your camera package is. I'm going to be balancing the HD-2000 with the A7S with a small lens on it, but the process will be the same for the HD-4000. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to mount your quick release plate to the bottom of your camera. If you don't have a quick release plate on there, you're going to have to take this sled off on the top. So you undo all 4 of these knobs in the corner, which can take some time, and that's why we decided to use the quick release plate. So you'll take this off and you'll just mount this screw straight to your camera instead of through the quick release plate. But I definitely recommend getting the plate. And then we'll mount up the camera. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to adjust your weights to balance the camera weight. How we're going to check for that is by holding it up, and you can either put it on a light stand if you want. I just decided to hold it because it's a little faster for me. You're going to hold it horizontal, and then you're going to drop the weights. I know right now this is way too heavy because that camera is pretty light. So I'm going to take off a bunch of these weights. Undo the screws on the top, and then pull off most of these weights. Now I'm just going to screw these lightly back on just to check it, and then I'll tighten them down once I'm close. So we're going to hold it up again, hold it horizontal, and drop it. So it's not quite 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and it's kind of going everywhere. So we do want a little bit more length, and that's going to add more weight to it. You'll use the weights for your main adjustment, and then once you're fine tuning, you'll use the knob here and the vertical up and down to extend the weights. Try this one more time. 1, 2. Okay, so that's falling about the same speed. It's spinning a lot, and we're going to adjust that once we get up to the carriage part. For now, let's tighten down these screws so the weights aren't going to move around on us. Okay, so once we have those tightened down, what we're going to do is we're going to check the tilt, which is the forward and backward motion. Now, how to do this is you're going to hold it straight up and down, and you're just going to let go. And it's falling a little bit back, so that means we want to move the camera forward. That means it's back heavy up top, so we want to move the camera forward. To do this, you're going to loosen all of the 4 screws on the side, so there's 2 here that you can see, and then there's 2 on the opposite side. We'll loosen those up. You don't need to take them out, just loosen them enough so that you can make the adjustment. Then on the back here, you'll see a knob. If you go counterclockwise, that's going to move the camera back, and if you go clockwise, that will move the camera forward. So currently, the camera is a little too far back, and that's why it's tipping backwards. So we want to go clockwise to push it forward. Do it a bunch here, and then we'll hold it up and test it again. And that's looking a lot better. Let's do it a little bit more. Perfect. Now we're going to tighten those down on all 4 knobs. We don't want it moving around on us as we do the other adjustments. Now we can turn it to the side. Hold it straight up again, and then let go. And you can see it's falling to the left, so that means we need to move the camera weight to the right. To do that, there's 4 knobs underneath. We'll loosen those all up. And then the knob that adjusts the roll is going to be on the left side here, And to go counterclockwise, it'll move the camera left, and if you go clockwise, it'll move the camera right. Since our camera is falling to the left, we want to push the weight to the right. Do it a bunch there, and then hold it up and check it out. Okay, still a little bit. Hold it up again. And it's looking pretty good. It's fallen a little bit back, so I'm going to readjust the back after I tighten down the roll knobs. Loosen all of these. And here's the tilt again. And the roll. There we go. Once you have that done, you want to go around and make sure all of the knobs are tightened down, make sure your weights are tightened on there. And the last thing that we're going to do is something that's called a dynamic balance test. This isn't imperative that you do it every time. You can get away with what we've already set up and how we've balanced it already, but this will just give you a little more preciseness. So how we're going to run this test is we're going to hold up the Glidecam right in front of us, and we're just going to spin the center pole here. And as you can see, it's starting to go off axis a little bit. It's not terrible, but there is a little bit of movement there. How we can adjust for that is by fixing the base plate and the base weights. Then it should spin without having any of that off-axis tilting. So what we can do is we'll loosen up these bolts and adjust the weights, and then just lift it up and try it again. So I'm gonna push these in. Ones are already down. And we're gonna lift it up and we're just gonna spin it again. Now you can see that's much more stable. It's directly up and down. It's not spinning off its axis like this. And that's gonna give us a much smoother flight when we're in the air. That's pretty much it. Now if you see, if I hold it, I can let it go and I can move it forward and back, and it's not going to adjust. I can move it side to side. I can move it in circles. And that's how you set up and balance a Glidecam. If you have any questions or you're having problems setting up your Glidecam, leave a comment below and we'll definitely get back to you. Thanks for watching.